Hello, my name is Rachel Sebastian, and I'm a freshman at FAU intending to major in medicine. The piece that we chose as a group is called Bull Skull, Fruit, and Picture Piece by Pablo Picasso. Painted in 1939, it's an oil-on-canvas piece, unframed, 65 by 92 centimeters, and Picasso uses cubism to illustrate the drastic effects of the Spanish Revolution. The dark effects of the Spanish Revolution, including death and the fall of democracy, is what makes this piece very unique compared to his other pieces and still lifes, which also use cubism. That's why we chose this piece.
Hi, my name is Elyes Seffar, and I'm currently a sophomore majoring in computer science here at FAU. And my focus for this artwork is the formal element of line. Upon first inspection of this piece, you can already see that there are almost no outlines in the background, with the only exceptions being the 4 black columns, likely representing the window frames. The fruit on the table appeared to have only one outline around them, which makes the fruit appear very flat and two-dimensional, while the bull skull and the picture have many lines with varying widths, intensities, and contours, which gives them a more detailed look and more depth. The picture appears to have more curvilinear lines, while the skull appears to have more geometric lines, which may be intended to show a contrast. My personal connection to this piece is that the painting is supposed to represent a sense of life and hope in the face of harsh times, which I find to be a good philosophy to have. It reminds me of what my grandfather used to say about staying positive no matter what happens, because those tough times never last.
Hello, my name is Jasmine Shaw, and I am currently a sophomore studying biology here at FAU, and for this artwork I'm going to be focusing on the element of composition. It's clear that there's a lot of some asymmetrical balance in this piece. The main focus is on the bull skull and the picture. On the left side of the artwork, the bull skull carries a lot of the visual weight due to its size. The viewer's eyes is just automatically drawn to that side of the piece because the bull skull is larger than everything else, and it's the easiest thing to depict in the artwork. However, the right side of the piece does carry some visual weight as well, but that's due to the brighter, more vivid colors that are on the picture. In addition to asymmetrical balance, the background and the foreground of the artwork does have an eccentric rhythm. As can be seen numerous times throughout the artwork, there are triangular shapes of different sizes and colors that are repeated multiple times, but in no specific order, which creates an eccentric rhythm throughout the entire piece. Finally, the orientation of this piece varies, which can be seen through the use of horizontal, vertical, and diagonal lines. In the background, there are vertical black lines that draw the viewer's eyes down. In contrast to this, there are horizontal and diagonal lines towards the bottom of the piece that are drawing the viewer's eyes up. And the purpose of these different orientations throughout the piece are to draw the viewer's eyes to a focal point, which in this piece is the area that shows the bull skull and the picture. I'm able to connect with this piece on a personal level because according to the Cleveland Museum of Art, this piece symbolizes brutality and darkness, but also hope for rebirth. I'm able to relate to this because I'm aspiring to be a trauma surgeon in the future. Therefore, many of my patients will be in a very brutal and vulnerable place along with their families. However, it's my job to do the best I can to save them and help them recover so they can start to see that light again and survive and return back to their normal lives.
Hello, my name is Cepuvida, and I'm currently a sophomore here at FAU majoring in Management Information Systems. The artwork my group and I chose is the bull skull, and I'm concentrated on the surface of this piece. I chose to concentrate on the surface because it's very interesting how Picasso uses the oil paint to create different textures throughout the piece. As we can see in the background, the atmosphere feels hazy with the whites, the blues, and the greens, and the texture essentially is much more rougher compared to the table where the skull and the base are located. Picasso uses bolder colors or darker colors, and it creates this much smoother look than the actual background. And my personal connection to this piece is that essentially this demonstrates that even when there's rough times, you can always see there's a hope, like the tree growing in the background. And the way I see it is that even when I go through rough times, I always tend to see the good and try to overcome those times.
Hi, my name is Tara Sergi, and I am a freshman at Florida Atlantic University. My major is in medical biology. The skull, fruit, and picture are all painted using warm tones such as reds, oranges, yellows, and beige, whereas the background contains cool tones such as blues, greens, and lilac. The contrast with the colors in this artwork helps make the objects stand out, and it makes the artwork eye-catching to the viewer. The bull skull stands out in the artwork due to it being bigger than the other objects in this piece. The spacing with the objects makes each of them have their own viewpoint. I connect to this piece of artwork because Picasso made this art after the passing of his mother, and I can connect to this because my father passed away when I was younger. In this artwork, the meaning behind it is suffering, which I have a strong connection to because after my father passed away, my family and I had to suffer the loss of my father, which hit my family very hard.
The formal element that I will be analyzing in this piece is form. In the atmosphere around the bull skull and the picture, it's very two-dimensional with elongated triangles, and this is Picasso's unique take of cubism. However, the bull skull and the picture is depicted in a very complicated, organic-looking volume. The picture in particular is not a living thing, but it's comparable to the bull skull in that it has good volume and good proportions, but its weight seems to be irregularly distributed across the table. The bull skull, however, is the most organically depicted object, with lines and curvatures. But there are two other objects besides these things, including the fruits. The fruits are not geometrical, but they are round, but they're not as complicated in structure. And the cherry blossom in the distance, that is the only other round-looking object amidst the geometrically elongated triangles. Weight seems to be irregularly distributed across the table, symbolizing a lack of balance. And I connected this piece because if Picasso was alluding to the fall of democracy in Spain during the Spanish Civil War, then I feel grateful for the country that I'm already living in because America is a democratic country. When I look at this piece, I remember the people that do not have democracy, and I feel grateful for the freedom that I have.